You're listening
You're listening
to another episode
of the FreshTakes
Podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final edition of our quarterback rankings, number 6 through number 1. Probably a gimme for all of our number ones.
Most likely.
I mean, yeah, but some suspense maybe for the middle portion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because
How
there's definitely been
yeah.
one quarterback I haven't said that you all already have said.
But, I mean, before we jump into it, Odell to the Ravens.
Yeah. That already automatically tells you that Lamar's coming back.
I would say, do you think Lamar is going to re-sign on now?
Has to. Because why would Odell go there with Huntley being a quarterback or a rookie right out of the draft this year?
Well, I mean, Odell only signed 1 year.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does, because if Lamar doesn't sign, he can play this year and then not come back. Just like Odell. Odell doesn't have to come back, and Lamar doesn't have to come back. They are just both on 1 year things.
I don't see it. I see him playing under the franchise. I don't see him getting signed. I see him going. I think he's going to stay under the franchise tag and play with Odell this year.
That's what I'm saying. I think Lamar stays, but I don't think he continuously stays.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just plays this year and then waits for a contract at the end of the year.
Yeah, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, I wouldn't play if I was Lamar under the franchise tag. If they worked a deal out, sure, but not for less than $40 million.
I know. We all saw how it worked for Le'Veon Bell.
Hey,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. I don't know. The guy deserves more.
You know where I think Le'Veon Bell would look or be really good at? Either in the XFL or the USFL.
I think he'd be good in the XFL.
Or I think he would. So, Bell, if you can hear this, go to the XFL. I'm a DC Defenders kind of a man, so I'll take you there.
All right, so you just want to jump right in?
Let's get right into it, guys. And by the way, happy belated Easter, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, and Tim, I know that was your last weekend off.
So, I mean, I get Sundays off, so.
Okay, but it's not Saturday, Sunday. So, but welcome back to working life and being a parent. But we'll get right into it. Number 6 for my 1 through 6, I have a quarterback who I think is young, and he's going to make an even bigger splash this upcoming season. I feel that this quarterback had made a decent splash in the 2022-2023 season, and that was good old Herbie the Love Bug, Justin Herbert.
Ooh, old Justin Herbie.
Ooh, okay. Yep.
Pat had him ranked 9 last week? 10?
Herbert, he had him 8.
Yeah.
Just outside of the top 6, so close. Yeah.
So I mean, pretty much what Pat said last week about him. You got to, I agree with. I have him up a little higher.
Yeah.
And I really, and I think why I have him so at 6 is because he's a young guy. He has a cannon, and I think he can do work. And I think we will definitely see it this upcoming season. And speaking of it, real quick, did you hear that Zeke might be following Kellen Moore out there?
I mean, didn't we say that last episode? That's where we assumed he'd go?
I think when we assumed it, or we spectated it, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But I think it's legit going to happen.
I know. I think he should go to Cincy.
I'm not saying he shouldn't go to Cincy because I agree with that, but I'm thinking he's going to follow Moore.
I think with the whole Joe Mixon stuff that he'd have a better chance in Cincy. But, all right, Pat, number 6.
Be interesting. All right, number 6. The boy was hot out the gates. has the hottest young talent at receiver, my man Kirk Thuggins.
Old
Cousins?
Kirko.
Oh, Kirk Cousins. 13-5, over 4,500 pass yards, 29 touchdowns, 65%. Once again, lived up to the Kirk expectations of not performing in prime time, except for
100%.
the Bills game they won. That was an absolute thriller of a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it came down to an overtime interception. But I mean,
You think he does any good this year?
I don't know because they were great. They were a great team, and then right in the postseason, the Giants came in and had the formula to beat them. Like I, I don't know how much better you can get. Like they were solid. Their defense can get better.
Yeah.
Pass rush. Um, but I don't know. Like they're a solid team. I just don't know what they need to get over that hump. Maybe it's not Kirk. I think he performs well, but
I don't think Kirk's the answer.
I think they need a more solid defense. And I mean, they just lost Kendricks.
Yeah.
So I think, and Pat Peterson. So I think that's their problem. They need a better defense, and they're losing their defense.
Yeah, 100%.
this
So-
draft will be a big one for them.
But I mean, I had him at 8 and Tim had him at 7. You have him at 6. I mean, we all agree with that he's right there in that vicinity of that kind of a tier of a quarterback.
Right.
All right. Well, I'll jump into number 6, and we're already starting it out with the Tim and Tank show because I got Justin Herbert, number 6.
You know, we didn't
Once
talk about
again.
this in the chat. We didn't see who was going to have the most picks or quarterbacks to write this
I
time.
had old Herbie fully loaded. Like I said last week when Pat put him in there, I think if he doesn't lose Mike Williams and Keenan Allen most of the season, I think Herbert's going to be a solid quarterback, and they're going further in the playoffs than what they did, and they weren't giving up that comeback.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I can't knock that. You know what I mean? I can't take something away that I agree with. And I think that Herbert is I do feel it. He's the answer for Chargers right now.
Yeah, so
I believe so too. I think he's definitely got the it factor. It just kind of stinks that he's still like third or fourth in the AFC.
yeah, I think it's quarterbacks.
So like it's going to be tough for him and the Chargers themselves to overcome those other teams, but I think they're on the right trajectory. The Bills might be at the end of theirs and the Chargers might be starting theirs, so they might be a swap out there.
I think the Chargers are another Vikings. They need a more solid defense. They have a good defense, but it keeps getting injured. So I think if they have a solid defense that doesn't get hurt, I think the Chargers can look very good. They were my Super Bowl pick last year.
Yep. They didn't perform quite to the hype, but they performed decent. But yeah, injuries hurt them a lot.
Very much so.
All right, so number 5, I got the comeback player of the year. I got Geno Smith.
Geno.
I think nobody was expecting Geno to be good at all this year. The past couple years, Geno has not been good. Being a Giant fan, seeing Geno, he never performed good for us. But I think in the right mental state and the team around him, he looked very phenomenal with the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He looked phenomenal. I mean,
I think he just needed that coaching.
Yeah.
I think he just needed that refresh start, I feel.
It also helped him that every week he knew he had to battle against Drew Lock because one slip up and they were putting Drew Lock in.
Oh, yeah, hands down. But, you know, I don't feel Drew Lock is a good quarterback either.
No.
We haven't seen Drew Lock in a new team as well. Maybe Drew Lock is also like that.
That is true.
He wasn't good at the Broncos either. He was very subpar.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, Pete Carroll was saying that Drew Lock looked better than Geno, and Geno only got the start because Drew Lock got COVID.
Hey,
So, I mean, we never got to see what Drew
But you
Lock
also got to
actually had.
think. I mean, you got the weapons that he has. He has what Lockett. He has Debo Samuel. He has.
No, Debo Samuel's on the 49ers.
Did I say Debo? I didn't
Yeah.
mean Debo. I meant DK Metcalf. Sorry, my fault. So you got DK, you got Lockett, and you got Penny in the backfield.
No, Penny's on the Eagles now.
That's right. He is on the Eagles
And
now.
Penny got injured in like week 3.
But you know what I'm saying? But he had at least had him through the week, whatever. But
So
I
he's got
feel
Kenneth Walker.
now, yeah, now he's got it. But I feel that with the weapons that Geno has, Geno looks good. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that he can't go to another team and he's going to have a horrible season. I'm not saying he's going to go to another team and have a great season. I think if you any quarterback, if you can have a team built around you or have weapons that you can rely on, then you're going to look good. And I feel he even has the legs that if he's being rushed out, being he can't throw the ball or drop it down, he has the legs to muscle through to get where he has to go.
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
Then why'd you criminally rank him so low?
Because I felt there was 10 other quarterbacks better than him.
I'm gonna say he didn't even make your top 10.
No, he made it right out 11.
All right, Pat, what you got for 5?
Well, so this quarterback, I predicted this team would finish last overall and have the first overall pick of the draft. And that team was the Seahawks because I thought it was Drew Lock as the starter. Turns out it was this man, Geno Smith. And is this the Tim and Pat show, actually? And yeah, so 70% completion percentage is phenomenal in the NFL. That is ridiculous to hit. And he hit 69.8. I will round up for him because he deserves it. And he threw 30 touchdowns, only 11 interceptions. Absolutely top 5 worthy. And I guess it did take the right system and coaching and environment to get that out of him, but he obviously had it in him. So I think they draft a quarterback, and I think it's a quarterback that will sit for a year or two behind Geno again.
I think they might move back.
Yeah, there's no rush to get a top tier one. They could find like a Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they trade back to later first, yeah, they're set.
Yeah, I think that they're set with their draft picks this year. All right, Tank. We know that you're not going to complete the trifecta.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Like I said, my number 5 was already been said by both of you all. Pat, you had this guy number 12, and you had this guy at number 9, Tim. So he's a blondie. And let's see.
Just say it.
Who was the team that you thought was going to the Super Bowl last year?
I said Chargers, but I just said after week 3 Jaguars would go.
So I have Trevor Lawrence being number 5.
I only said Jaguars because that looked like a very good game.
Oh yeah, it was a good game. But
then the Jaguars, the Giants were also a very good game.
Trevor Telly blew my mind this. He legit did. I think he's going to be the best quarterback that the Jaguars can do and have right now. He was 387 for 584, 4,113 yards. He had 25 TDs to 8 interceptions with a 95.2 rating. And this is what his second year in the league. He went to the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is set to succeed, and I think that he's going to succeed more than what people are willing to give him credit for. And I'm willing to give him the credit that he deserves, and I feel like he was at number 5.
Mm-hmm. I think with the revival of that receiving core, it really helped him.
Oh yeah, and now he has what's his name? Can't you think of it? Ridley.
Oh yeah, Calvin.
So I mean, I think that's going to even help boost him up.
So I think Ingram, Ridley, and Kirk is going to really help him.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
we're down to the final 4, and this is where I think we might all hit the trifectas.
Oh yeah, I think we now. So I'm at number 4 now. Let's just go ahead and get it out of there. Josh Allen. I think he's a very good quarterback, but I also feel in the last couple of years, the playoffs, he's not what he needs to be. So if he could snap it and turn it around, I think he could be higher.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not there yet to be able to snap it and turn it around. I think he's a great quarterback during the regular season, and I think he's really great during wild card weekend. And honestly, I feel if he was the number 1 seed this season, or playoffs last season, I think they would have done a lot better, and I think they would have gone to the Super Bowl. But not having number 1 seed, I think it messed with their minds also.
I know. I still think if they would have played Cincy, that they still wouldn't have won. But I'm not going to give my reasonings for your stuff with Josh, because I'm pretty sure we have the last 4. We all have the same people left. I don't know if it's the same order, but I'm pretty sure we have the same 4 people. So we can then explain ours when we get to those.
All right. So
Pat, you're number 4.
It's a man named Josh Allen. 5 fumbles lost on the year. Looked good, even though his elbow was evidently hurt most of the year. Had definitely still a top 5 quarterback even with that. Did well in the playoffs still. The entire team did not show up for that game against Cincinnati. That was just a debacle.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It should have been a better game, but yeah, that who knows? I think Josh Allen has it. I don't know if the Bills window is still there though, with how competitive the AFC has gotten.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that AFC is totally.
I still think they're number 1 for that division, but
that division, yes.
But this is why I said that we'll just explain everything later, because I'm gonna hit the trifecta. Number 4, I got Josh Allen.
Yes, we finally got it.
Yeah. So my main reasoning for Josh Allen is I think week 1 through 8 he was MVP candidate. It was between him and Hurts, and then I think after week 9 he fell off.
I agree.
And I think that if it wasn't for him falling off, I think the Buffalo's morale would have stayed high the whole time. But I think the biggest problem with Allen, and Tank, you and I have discussed this a lot during the podcast, he takes the blame for everything. It puts too much weight on his shoulder, and then it boosts him down, and it brings the whole team down.
Oh, 100%.
If the team would accept their problems instead of Josh is taking all of it, I think that they would work better.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Absolutely.
So now let me vice versa my reasoning for Josh. So number 3, I have Joe Burrow. Okay. And that's because I think week 1 through 5, Burrow did not look good. But then after that, I think Burrow looked MVP candidate. So I think if you had first half Josh and second half Joe put together, that was an MVP player right there.
100%.
So,
but I'm not going to give out my answers. I'm not telling you where he's at.
With Burrow leading his team to a Super Bowl last year, everybody thought this year that it was a fluke team.
I legit thought it was a fluke.
I would say they thought it was a fluke team, and then they went to the AFC Championship. And I honestly still, to this day, think that they should have won because of the refs not calling the penalties at the end.
Oh yeah.
But that's my number 3, Joey B.
All right, Pat. Who do you have at 3?
All right, so at number 3, I have a man named Mr. Joe Burrow. No one can deny the run that Burrow was on towards the end of the season, into the playoffs. He looked like the best quarterback of all time, to be honest. Like, he just looked so
Cool.
someone that a child would watch and like idolize. Like, oh my God, I want to be Joe Burrow. And it's actually someone that this 31-year-old man watched and said, oh my God, I wish I could be Joe Burrow.
It's okay. My wife's all about Joe Burrow.
He spins the ball like no other, you know. He was on a shredder. He's phenomenal. The Bengals are set. It wasn't a fluke year. As long as he's on the team, they're set.
Yeah, I think with how much they're adding to their team, they're just getting better and better.
Yeah.
I think within the next 3 or 4 years, they definitely will be a Super Bowl winning team.
100%.
The only thing that scares me with their team, though, is you have T. Higgins' contract who comes up, and then right after that, Burrows, and then right after that, Jamar Chase. And
I was going to say, you and I have been talking about that a lot lately, about their contracts.
Yeah, and I
Cincinnati's.
think Boyd's ends the same year as Burrow, and I think Mixon's ends the same year as Chase. So I think their biggest problem looking up is if they don't do it within 3 or 4 years, it's going to be a while till they can get back because of the money.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, Tank, you going to hit us with the trifecta?
Well, here's the thing. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can hit the trifecta on this one.
That's
Pat.
so
Pat.
saddening.
Pat.
How could you put Patrick Mahomes at 3?
Who said? But at 3, I had Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I had y'all scared there for a second. So
I honestly thought that you put Hurts there.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I 2 and 3. So 2, I'll go ahead and say it. 2 is Jalen Hurts. I kept going back and forth on 2 and 3. And honestly, what made 3 where it was is because of the season that he had at the beginning of being, I feel, sloppy. Not a quarterback that went to the Super Bowl and then had a good season the following season. He at the second half of the season, he turned it around and was phenomenal. He should have gone to the Super Bowl, but he didn't. And I mean, we were even talked about that in the one episode you and I did, Tim. So I put Burrow there because of him not going to the Super Bowl. I put Hurts at number 2 because he did go to the Super Bowl. My only downfall with Hurts, he runs the ball way too much. You're a quarterback. You're not a running back. But Tim, you and I even talked about that. I think Hurts is a phenomenal quarterback, and you have the legs to when you need to get out and you need to run for those emergencies. I get it, 100. But you don't need to always have the. I don't want to say the QB sneaks or the QB draws or whatever they're called. You're a quarterback. Take charge of throwing the ball or handing the ball off. Don't always run the ball. That's my issue with Hurts. But I put him at 2 because he went to the Super Bowl.
All right, Pat.
Well, also Hurts, and I'll have you know that most of his rushes are definitely on play called design runs. He's not much of a scramble out of play calls into runner. Because very rarely does he have to because his line is so effective.
Oh yeah.
But he does have that ability and he does take advantage of it. And even if you take that away, his passing game has improved tremendously. He's
even
very
from
efficient.
college.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he's very efficient. He seems to just grow and grow and get better each year. And if that's true, if this was his year, the way he played in that Super Bowl against probably all our number ones, the way he played against him was extraordinary. He definitely went toe to toe, and no one thought he could as a quarterback. Maybe the teams were pretty evenly matched, but everyone gave the big edge to Mahomes, and Hurts played right up to that level.
Now, I do have one question for you, Pat, because you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan. You have Devontae Smith. Who else is your all's wide receivers?
Brown.
Brown, and who else?
Goddard is a big receiving tight end.
Quez
Watkins, Zach Pascal. I don't know if they resigned.
I think Pascal was signed to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think he went along with Gannon. You're right.
Yeah.
But they're gonna draft a receiver. That's the big talks. Hopefully, I would love them to draft Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
however you pronounce his name.
There's talk the Giants are going for Addison.
Yeah.
So, realistic talk, real quick. Do you think this was the season that you should have won the Super Bowl, kind of thing, or do you think there's still more gas in the tank to return to the Super Bowl?
Oh, no. It was a very promising season and kind of an unexpected, solid, like undefeated run for so long, and then to only lose 2 regular season games, and that was unexpected. So to see that happen on a year we weren't sure how Jalen was going to perform.
Lost 3 regular season games.
Excuse me. I don't count the Gardner Minshew Cowboys loss. Brandon Cooks stinks.
Well, wasn't Gardner also the quarterback? I would say, wasn't Gardner also the quarterback for the Saints loss too?
Yeah.
So only one under Hurts.
And that goes Jay.
So, all right. My number 2, I'll just say it's Jalen Hurts. I was also torn between him and Burrow, but I think the biggest thing that gave me Hurts the second spot was because of the 2 losses that they had without him in there. Definitely tells you that Hurts is the main reasoning for that team winning. I will say, if he would have passed the ball a lot more, he could have honestly moved to my number 1 spot. But I think with how he looked coming off of a team that there was talks wasn't going to really do anything, and how his first playoff looked against the Bucs last year, and everybody thought he was terrible, I think Hurts majorly turned it around.
Oh, majorly. And I don't like the Eagles, but I will say that he turned it around phenomenally.
Yeah. So
right. That honestly all tells everybody who our number 1 is. I mean,
yeah, my number 1 is Mitchell Trubisky.
Let's
no way. That's who I have.
Let's all say it together here, guys. So on a count of 3.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Patrick
Mahomes.
Yeah, old Patty.
Honestly,
I would say I think the main reason
is because he won the Super Bowl. I mean, that's but and for him to go down, what was it, during the Super Bowl, or was it during? No, it was during the AFC Championship.
No, it was the wild card. He got hurt. No, they had the van. What am I thinking? Yeah, it was the championship, and then in the divisional he hurt himself again, and then in the Super Bowl he hurt himself again.
Yeah, and for him to go down, and he looked at Andy Reid and he said, either you go get checked or you're not going back in. And he went in, got checked, and he came back out. Shows you that the guy can go, and you got to give the guy credit. And you got to. One of my friends said this, and I 100% agree with it. The Kansas City Chiefs are now the new New England Patriots back when Tom Brady was on the team, and they just kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. Everybody's just tired of seeing them. So I agree with that statement. I was really rooting for the Eagles. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's why I have Mahomes where he is.
I know. I think Chad Henne should be number one. 99-yard drive. No, but my main reasoning for Mahomes is not because he won a Super Bowl. I mean, he had MVP too.
Yeah,
He had Super Bowl MVP, and MVP.
Yeah.
He had some of the best stats out of all the quarterbacks. And
Over
I mean,
5,000.
going into the season with the talks of no Tyreek Hill, only has Travis Kelce. It's gonna have to do stuff with new receivers. Juju is a TikTok guy. He's not an actual receiver. Mecole Hardman's always getting hurt. He went in there and looked at the face of adversity, and he showed him what he could do.
I mean, he had 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He had the second highest QB rating, the at a 105.2. The only person who had it better was Tua. He was a 105.5. So I mean,
And Tua missed how many games?
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Mahomes is that team, and for him to be able to not have Tyreek and shut the haters up and shut the naysayers and shut this people up, not people up. I mean, he deserves to be number one.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
All right, Pat, your reasonings?
Hey, same thing. MVP season, absolutely phenomenal year. He makes things look easy that aren't. Although I am a little salty as an Eagles fan. There's two out routes. I could have hit those in our pickup leagues. They were impressive. They weren't impressive throws. They were extreme blown coverages. So don't give Mahomes all the credit for those 2 touchdowns. They were gimmies. They were handoffs.
Well, I mean, and Kadarius Toney setting them up on the 10-yard line.
Yeah. So obviously Mahomes could have done it from longer. Probably could have drove the field and won it and done whatever. But those were like gimmies, and I feel he could have done anything, though. He's amazing.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 36-1. We have officially wrapped up our quarterback tier rank listing.
1 through 4 was completely the same for all of us. We hit the trifecta. Yeah. If I had Geno Smith, we could have had the top 5.
And Pat and I had 5. Tank and I had 6. So basically, my 1 through 6, I agreed with one of you at least.
Yeah.
But all right, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a preview of what's going to happen in the next 2 episodes, because that's all I have planned out so far. The next episode, it's going to be a little breather, but I'm going to make you all think a little. Because next episode, we're going to play some football games. We're going to play some football games, and maybe we'll have a draft or 2 in there. I'm going to have you guys
first on football.
I'm going to have you guys play some NFL tic-tac trivia.
Oh, tic-tac.
Yeah,
Are you telling me my breath stinks?
If you don't know what it is, there'll be 3 teams on this side and 3 teams on this side, and you got to compare them up somehow. And whichever one of you gets tic-tac-toe will win it. It'll be the best of 3. I'll have 5 boards in case you tie. And then the week after that, it'll be the Tuesday before the draft. So we will come up with our own mock draft and see where we think people are going to go.
Yeah, we only got 17 more days till the draft.
Yep. So that's what the next 2 weeks you can look forward to. After that, I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll come up with some other things. But
we'll definitely
thank you guys for listening. If you agree with our top 6, top 5, even our top 36, comment down below. Who had the better board? In my mind, I think Pat probably had the better, all because he had better reasonings.
I was going to say, I say Pat has the better board.
Pat just had the better reasonings. Tank lost me at Andy Dalton.
Oh, boy.
But I thank you guys. I thank you guys. And I will talk to you guys next Tuesday.
You want to say anything, Pat, or do you want me to take it over?
Hey, I'll go, and then you can end us out. As you started off, you brought in with a happy Easter. Some of my work colleagues, I want to wish you a happy Passover. You're of that faith. And then some of my other friends from those schools, it is also happy Ramadan. All three faiths sharing the same holiday week.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often, but hey, celebrate what you love. And this has been fun. Glad to get your all's rankings.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad to finally get you in a segment with us.
I know, right? This is Tank. I'm going to be signing off here shortly, but I want to say don't forget you can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube now. Don't forget we got Apple Podcasts and you got Spotify. You can listen to the Fresh Takes Podcast. This is Tank, and this is 1 through 36 quarterbacks with Tim and Pat. Peace, and we'll see you next week.
Glad your camera didn't cut out so much this episode.
I know, right? Peace.